Hello again, and welcome to Power Moves, where we find ways to level up in our career, level up in our finances, and level up in life in general. It's good to see you all again this evening, this wonderful Wednesday evening. I hope your week, this wonderful Tuesday evening, I hope your week is off to a great start. We still got a little bit more week to go to the weekend, but it's definitely coming. It's on its way. So, if you are watching this on YouTube, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Tonight's topic is going to be how to ask for what you want with confidence. And I know a lot of people, especially introverts, have trouble making conversation in the first place. But making conversation about our wants and needs is definitely a little bit more difficult. That's when the difficulty level goes up. So, if you have trouble doing that, if you shy away from it, this episode is for you. How to ask for what you want with confidence. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, you can practice asking ahead of time. And I know this sounds maybe juvenile or childish or stupid, but it may be all of those things, but it still works. It still works. Always practice what you want to say ahead of time. If you want things to go smoothly and you want things to go your way without any jitters, without any butterflies, just practice it. It works. It definitely works to rehearse ahead of time. This is vital if you're a soft-spoken or a little skittish when it comes to heavy conversations. Repeating your ask several times in front of the mirror will help you get all of your jitters out and give you the confidence you need to persuade the other party to grant your wish. Okay, so remember that. Just practice in the mirror a few times. It can't hurt. It can only make things better. Okay, rehearse ahead of time. Number two, be direct. Be direct. This is important because, first of all, you have to get that person to grant you their attention, okay? You don't want to waste that. That's important. People are busy, they have things to do, they have stuff going on. So now that you have their attention, be direct. Don't beat around the bush. Don't go all the way around Robin Hood's barn to say something. All right? Just be direct and let them know exactly what it is you want and need. This is not the time to drop hints. In order to get what you want, you are going to have to be very real and very direct. Say exactly what you want and leave no room for confusion. This, of course, doesn't increase the chances of you getting what you want, but this, of course, doesn't just increase the chances of you getting what you want, but you're also getting it in the shortest time possible. Okay, so don't waste their time. Okay, let them know exactly what you want. When there's no confusion, you don't have to repeat yourself, you don't have to answer any extra questions, which means you get what you want a lot sooner. Okay, when you expect them to read your mind, that's just going to confuse things. You might not get exactly what you want, or you might not get anything at all. Okay, so be real, be direct. Now, number three, don't assume they can read your mind. We just talked about this. And I know it sounds ridiculous. Like, of course they can't read our mind. But a lot of people, especially people I work with on a daily basis, tend to explain things and request things with missing pertinent information. And they do it as if I know exactly what's going on in their head. And this is a common theme that I've run across during my career. And I've been out here since 2004 working. And since 2004, I've run into people who speak and explain and communicate as if I know what's going on in their head. Okay? Don't do that. You're only going to confuse them. You might even upset them. Okay? This usually goes without saying, but I'm realizing more and more, especially in my work life, that people tend to make requests that lack vital details. When asking for something important, you, the requester, must make sure you are explaining things to the requestee as if this is their first time ever hearing about your request, because it is. Okay? So, this is where all three of those things culminate: rehearsal, being direct, and not assuming that they can read your mind. Okay, this is going to help you communicate quicker, communicate more effectively, and get what you want in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay? Again, for introverts and people who don't like making heavy phone calls or heavy conversation or things like this is all going to help you. It's going to prepare you. It's going to make sure your outcome is one that you're pleased with. Okay? Finding balance. Find some balance. Find balance between being too aggressive and being a pushover. If you are too aggressive, you may offend the other party and weaken your chances of getting what you want. If you are a pushover, the other party may not take you seriously, or they might think they can get away with just giving you less than what you are asking for. So you really have to strike it in the middle here. Straddle the fence. You cannot be too aggressive. You cannot be too passive. You have to hit the sweet spot right in the middle. And that just comes with common sense and a little bit of practice, okay? So add that to your repertoire. Finding balance, finding balance. You matter. And a lot of people who are soft spoken or maybe a little insecure or just quiet and not want to bother people, introverts, all of us kind of subconsciously have this thing going on. Well, I'm invisible anyway, or well, no one really pays any attention to me. So you may have self confidence and you may have self love, but in the back of your head, you're operating and your thoughts are operating as if you don't matter. That what you want is not what's important. And we need to remind ourselves that what we want is just as important as what other people want. Our wants and needs are just as important as other people's wants and needs. And if we don't take that mindset, if we don't take that frame of mind, we're going to live an unfulfilled life. You know, we're going to live an unfulfilled life. So, in order to prevent that, make sure that you know and you repeat to yourself that you matter. Know your needs are just as important as anyone else's. This should be your position when asking for what you want. Knowing this should give you a necessary amount of confidence. You deserve to have your requests heard and given consideration. Again, you deserve to have your requests heard and given consideration. You matter too. You matter too. I know a lot of times, especially through life, the squeaky wheel always gets the oil. So you're sitting there and the open mouth, closed mouth doesn't get fed. So you're not the squeaky wheel and you're the closed mouth. And sometimes that kind of compounds and changes your mindset in the back of your mind to, make you think, well, maybe I'm not as important. I'm not getting the attention I need. I'm not getting the care that I need. So maybe I'm not important. Okay? It all depends on your mindset. So kind of change that. And if it takes daily affirmations, if it takes someone else's validation to you on a consistent basis, take advantage of all of that because you need to know that you matter and you need to know it all the time, not just when you're asking for something, but all the time. Banish guilt. This is another important one. You are not selfish for having your wants and needs met, especially when it comes to basic needs like love and respect and acceptance. Don't nurture your feelings of guilt. Mentally release those feelings to make room for healthy feelings like confidence, peace, fulfillment, etc. Okay? So you don't feel guilty for asking for what you want. We all have basic wants and needs out of life. And you shouldn't feel guilty. You're not doing anything bad by voicing your wants and your needs, by making yourself heard. Lots of time manipulative people will tell you that you're being selfish in order to either block you from getting what you want or to make you feel bad about getting what you want. But you have to banish those feelings from your mind and repeat to yourself that you are not guilty for for having wants and needs to be fulfilled. Okay? Next, trust the process. This is also very important. Trust that eventually you're going to receive what you're asking for. That's an important part of the equation. If you ask the question or if you make a request, but in your head you're thinking you're not going to get your request fulfilled, that is going to affect how you deliver your request. It's going to color everything that comes out of your mouth. So, trust the process. Ask like you believe you're going to get what you want. Okay? Trust is a major element in making requests, such because so much of our confidence comes from trust. If you have no trust in the process, the asking won't go right and the request won't be received properly. Okay? Trust the process. And lastly, pick the right time. Pick the right time. Okay, you don't want to interrupt someone who's doing something important and that's already going to agitate them, and then they're going to have to, give you space, make room for what you want to ask for, which is taking them away from something important. You don't want to do that. So how do you avoid that? You want to make your request known at a time when the other party or the requestee will be able to give you their full attention. So not in the middle of Call of Duty. Okay, let him play his game. Not in the middle of, not at work. Don't call him at work to have a discussion. I don't think that's gonna that's gonna go well. Maybe quiet time after your kids have been put to bed and there are no other things, nothing else that requires your attention at the moment. Okay, or before you turn in for the night, maybe just include that in your pillow talk. Hey, I have something I want to talk to you about. I have some things that I need or that I want. Those are quiet times, more introspective times, times that they have nothing vying for their attention. They can give you their full attention. Okay? You want to make your request known at a time that the other party or the requestee will be able to give you their full attention. So please schedule with that intent. Please schedule with that intent. Do not just randomly stop them while they are doing something or going somewhere. Schedule a meeting with them and ask what time works best for them. Okay? So these were a few pointers on how to ask for what you want with confidence. We went over practicing ahead of time, being direct, not assuming that they can read your mind, find balance, recognize that you matter, banish your guilty feelings, trust the process, and pick the right time. I hope that you have found this helpful. I definitely found it helpful personally. It was wonderful to be able to talk to you all this evening. If you have any suggestions or want to discuss things with me, you can reach me here on Facebook. You can reach me at Karen_Mack on Instagram. That's KARON_MACK on Instagram. You can also reach me at KarenMack.com, and I have my Etsy store linked to that website. I have my Amazon books linked to that website. I also have my graphic design portfolio linked to that website. If you want to go and investigate some of the other pots that I have on the stove, you can do that at KarenMack.com. You can also contact me there. And that's it. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you all again next week. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend.